Welcome everyone, myself Rutu Patel, lecturer in chemistry at Parul Institute of Engineering and Technology, welcomes you all to the active learning video session on the chemistry. In this session we will be discussing regarding on how to write the GTU paper. We are providing the solution of GTU Summer Exam 2013 paper on the applied chemistry with entire detail today in this session. Let us try to ensure that you learn on how to write and how to present your skills in the paper. GTU paper, when you are dealing with the question paper, the first thing and the foremost thing that comes to your mind is on what question you are planning to attempt and what not to attempt. The first thing that you have to do when you get a paper in the hand is read the paper well and just check it out which questions you are planning to attempt, with which we are fully comfortable with your learning. Okay, so after deciding the questions which you are planning to attempt, make sure that you are fully confident on that answer and you continue with the same thing in the entire paper. Okay, so that is very important. Again, the things that comes to your mind is that suppose if you are given any question in the filling the blanks or in the definition or in the long answer, then you have to ensure that the things should be coming to the proper these things. Okay, so suppose the things are like that. Suppose a long question is there, or if it is in the great detail, then you have to take care that you are writing the presentation in the key points, the key stars that will indicate the things easy, and it will make the examiner aware of your highlighted points too. Present the paper in the form of the stars or in the key points and not in the form of very too much lengthy clumsy short notes, so that will help you to score good marks in the GTU. Second thing, with the definitions, you are always have to be very aware that you have to cite an example with the definition. Whenever you are opting any filling the blanks, you are supposed to write the answer straight away without showing any calculations. Suppose you are attempting any numerical, for that case you have to ensure that you are showing a very systematic steps along with the formula in that particular numerical. Apart from that particular numerical, you are supposed to write down the unit for the numerical. That is very important at the end of process. There are the questions having the wide variety in the paper. It can be a long question, it can be a short question, it can be an objective of the 2 lines, it can be objective of the 1 line, it can be matching, it can be true or false, it can be filling the blanks, it can be simple definitions, it can be something where you have to think and you have to some questions which come out of the course or out of the book, that you can say it is something like called a logical question. It is not always that you are going to have all the things present in the book same in the examination. So at such place your logic, your concept of learning is very useful. You have to recollect your concept, your clarity of the subject in order to ensure good writing of the paper. At the same time, suppose if you are writing any question and you are stopping somewhere, diagram is the best way to present your answer. You can draw the diagram in a very neat and clean manner. You can label it very clearly and show the systematic presentation of diagram. After that, you describe that diagram in the figure. That is actually going to cover your answer fully. Okay, in case if you are asked any difference, if you are asked any differentiation, say suppose for example it is thermoplastic or thermosetting plastic differences, for that reason you are supposed to write down the differences that will start with the definition itself. The first point will be the definition and the last point will be always the example that you are supposed to write in the differences. So these all things will combine togetherly make your paper much good and much more scoring if you take care of all this concept. Do not be very fast in writing the things without thinking. Your handwritings are the very first thing that you are supposed to take care when you are writing. Whenever examiner is checking your paper, the first impression about you is your handwriting. If your handwritings are not good, that is somewhere showing the laziness in the paper and it is not giving a good image to the examiner. So make sure whatever you are attempting, that should be attempted in a very good handwriting. That is very important point that one has to be very clear, and you have to remember that. Okay, and suppose if you are showing it in the good writing, then make sure that your answer should justify the scientific points. Whatever points has to be covered is to be written there, so that you can get a good marks from the examiner. Scientific points plays very important role. Whenever definition comes, you have to write down all the things from the scientific points. You have to use your scientific background knowledge in describing the things in paper. You cannot write anything whatever you feel like in your own words. You can express all your things in terms of scientific words. That is the care which one has to take care whenever one is attempting the GTU paper. Let us try to see today in GTU summer exam 2013, that is in applied science chemistry subject, whatever is there, we are actually planning to attempt the entire question paper with the solution. That will help us to identify how to present each and every answer in the detail, and how to attempt a particular question in that paper, in what way, what are the ways of attempting different questions, that we can learn through the solution of this paper. Okay, so let us discuss summer 2013 paper, and I am sure this will help you to write further and clear your concept apart from your learning to present the paper in the examination. Let us continue now. See the first question that is asked in the GTU Diploma Engineering Semester 2 Summer 2013 exam. You can see here question 1 consists of the 3 parts A, B and C, each having the 5 marks, B having 5 marks and C having 4 marks. According to that, you have to ensure the weightage, because you have to get the 5 marks. In order to that, you have to ensure the proper content in the answer. Look here, the first answer, what they have asked, explain Auf-bau principle. It means that they are asking you what is the Auf-bau principle. So that we are starting with the simple answer, that is the meaning of the Auf-bau. Meaning of Auf-bau is construction. Okay, it is something that you are actually building up. It is the construction. Now let us try to state what is this principle. It states that electron enters first into lower energy orbital and then higher energy orbital gets filled gradually. What is the meaning of this principle? Be very clear, don't use very complex lines. Electron is actually first entering low energy orbital and then it is entering high energy orbital. Okay, so from that you can show it in the below terms, like 1s is having energy less than 2s, 2s is having energy less than 2p, 2p is having energy less than 3s, 3s is having energy less than 3p, 3p is having energy less than 4s, 4s is having energy less. So you can see very clearly that 1s orbital is the lowest energy orbital and 5p orbital is the highest energy orbital. Now you can relate the principle. What it states, electron enters first in low energy orbital. It means electron will first prefer to enter into 1s orbital. Okay, then it will enter into 2s orbital, then it will enter into 2p orbital. Okay, so what is actually the capacity of this orbital? That is also to be kept in mind. We have said that it will enter in 1s orbital. See, s orbital is having the capacity of the 2 electrons. Okay, always remember. Let us try to understand what is the capacity of the orbitals. See here, s orbital is having capacity of the 2 electrons, p orbital is having capacity of the 6 electrons, d orbital is having capacity of the 10 electrons, and f orbital is having capacity of the 14 electrons. This is the capacity of the electrons. Now you are aware that for one s orbital, suppose your electron is going to first enter in 1s orbital and you are aware that it can have maximum of the 2 electrons, so the configuration that can come out is to be 1s2. Okay, so this is showing that 1s orbital is now completely filled. Okay, after that, what is our next orbital? It is having the next orbital of the 2s. Okay, so you can write here clearly, it will be 2s2. Okay, so that is very clear. Then you can say the next orbital that is turning out is 2p orbital. For 2p orbital, it is very clear that p orbital can have maximum of 6 electrons. So you can keep on dropping electron in the p orbital up to 6 electrons. So maximum intake is 6 electrons for the 2p orbital. Same way, whenever you are defining the Auf-bau principle, it is stating that electron enters first in lower energy orbital. So electron is going to enter in 1s orbital first, then in 2s, then in 2p, then in 3s, then in 3p. So gradually all the other high energy orbitals will get filled. This is required for the construction of the Auf-bau principle. The basic rule guides the formation of the electronic configuration also. Let us proceed ahead. The next question given in the question 1b is explain the factors affecting on degree of ionization. So they are asking the factors and also they are expecting us to find out, to provide the detail of these factors. The first factor, that is nature of ionic compound, that is strong electrolytes like HCl, NaOH possess high degree of ionization. So nature of ionic compound, but how it is affecting degree of ionization, that is to be written in this line. See here, the strong electrolytes have higher degree of ionization and the weak electrolytes have lower degree of ionization. That is the first thing. The second factor that is affecting degree of ionization is nature of the solvent. Ionization is greater in polar solvents like water. Ionization is poor in non-polar solvents like benzene, ether and etc. So this is the second factor. The first factor was nature of ionic compound. The second factor is the nature of the solvent. Okay, so there the polar solvents actually like water are having the higher degree of ionization. This one has to remember. Let us see the third factor that is affecting degree of ionization. The third factor here is temperature. Ionization is greater at high temperature. So this one has to remember that whenever you are increasing the temperature, at the same time degree of ionization is also increasing. What is the reason? The reason is that the distance between the two atoms is getting more, and due to this reason what happens, the ionization process between the ions is going to increase. The fourth factor that is affecting the degree of ionization is dilution of the solution. If dilution of solution increases, then ionization will also increase. Okay, this one has to remember. So dilution increases, then ionization increases. But you are at the same time very well aware that what is dilution? Decrease in the concentration. Okay, so decrease in concentration will lead to increase in ionization. So with concentration, ionization is inversely related, but with dilution, ionization is directly related. So remember this much, that is very important. So we have seen the four factors. What are the factors affecting degree of ionization? Nature of ionic compound, nature of solvent, temperature, and then we are finally getting the dilution of the solution. The next slide that shows the next question, that is question 1c, that is write a short note on electroplating. Okay, so you can see here very clearly in the mind, that is short note on electroplating. First of all, what is the purpose of electroplating, that has to be covered in the slide or in the answer of the GTU. It is having the 4 marks weightage. So we will be first writing that you are aware electroplating is used for decoration and protection purpose. Base metal acts as cathode and coating metal acts as anode. Okay, so this is very important. Now what is base metal? See, the metal on which you want to coat something is your base metal, and the metal of which you want to do the coating, that is coating metal. Okay, so base metal is going to act as a cathode and coating metal is going to act as a anode, right? Suppose you are having a spoon, then iron spoon is your base metal, and if you are planning to coat a chromium on the iron spoon, okay, then what is going to happen? Your chromium is your coating metal and your iron spoon is your base metal. This one has to remember. What is the next step in the electroplating? Let us see that. Suppose whenever you are passing an electricity, what happens? A thin layer of coating metal is obtained on article connected at cathode. Let us see the diagram here. There is a diagram, right? Suppose you are having another electrode and you want to coat some different metal on that. Then what will happen? You have to pass the electricity, and whenever you are passing the electricity, then your basically coating metal will get coated on your base metal via the solution of the electrolyte. So main purpose of the electroplating is actually for decoration and protection. Coating metals used are zinc, nickel, tin, copper and chromium. Electroplating improves appearance and hardness of the metal. You know, there are many jewelries that are gold plated, silver plated. This is the process of the electroplating that actually improves the appearance and the hardness of the metal. Also, it increases resistance to corrosion and chemical attack, a very important quality. What is the purpose of this electroplating has to be covered in the short note. Electroplating actually plays a very important role, that it protects the metal from the chemical attack. Okay, so it does not get corroded, and hence the metal is getting protected from corrosion for a longer period of the time. So that is a very good point of the electroplating. This technique is used to provide protection of metals from corrosion as well as to decorate the metals and to provide the coating of one metal on another metal. So these all the points should be covered whenever you are describing the short note of the electroplating. Let us move to the next question. The next question comprises of, you can see question 2a, differentiate between thermoplastic and thermosetting plastic. Again you can see very clearly 5 marks of the difference is asked. In that, question 2b is having explain boundary lubrication, which is having 5 marks weightage. Question 2c is having describe permuted process with reactions. Mainly this is now somewhat in the detail. Let us move ahead on what to write in these questions. See the difference. The first question, that is distinguish between thermoplastic and thermosetting plastic. What is the first difference? That is definition. Okay, be very clear.